Hello, Empowerment Junction listeners. Welcome back to another episode. And today we are diving into a topic that we all face at some point on our journey: how to keep going even when everything in you wants to quit. Life as we know it can feel impossible sometimes, and taking that next step can feel daunting. But remember, it's in those challenging moments that true growth happens. Before we jump in today, I want to take a moment to wish my November born listeners a very happy birthday. November for me is a month of transition, a bridge between the vibrant colors of autumn and the chill of winter. It's a time to reflect on how far we've come and to harness the strength within us to keep moving forward. As the writer Cynthia Ryland said, in November, trees are bare and we can see things we couldn't see before. Let this be a reminder that clarity often comes during our most challenging times. Now let's get started with today's episode: how to keep going even when you want to quit. I've got 7 principles and 7 practical steps that I want us to explore today to help you stay on track, maintain your focus, and resist the urge to give up on your dreams. So, grab the drink, grab the pen and paper, or whatever works for you, and let's get started. I'll start by saying life can feel impossible sometimes. While giving up seems to be the easy thing to do, it's in fact easier to continue on the path to your goals. Many people tend to give up because they don't have direction. They may lack a plan as well. Now, while there may be a myriad of reasons a person gives up, I would like to discuss these 7 things that I feel can help you move forward without the fear, anxiety, and worry of not completing your goals. Now, you must remember as you're doing this that your goals are very important. You are the one who thought of them and wanted to complete them. Not me, not somebody else. It was you. You wrote them. And if you wrote them in January with me when we started this podcast, then you know. Thus, I feel strongly to encourage you that you must resist the urge to simply abandon them. So here are the 7 things to do and the 7 practical steps and principles I would encourage you to do. The first one is always start with a plan. Planning is extremely important when you're setting out to complete a goal. During this time, you will have an idea of what you want and how you will go about completing your goals. Divide tasks into manageable steps. This will also help you gauge your progress. When you have created measurable steps, it's easy to see how far away or how close you are to your dreams. Now, the ultimate result here should always be the completion, not pausing or completion of the goal. That is the ultimate result. Sometimes we worry about stuff that makes us angry or frustrated instead of the task at hand. Understand that they will come minor obstacles that will come your way, but you have to continue to move forward regardless. Number 2, don't sweat the small stuff. We must remember that life happens and it will also continue to happen. You need to realize that you can't be worried about every single negative thing that happens. Know that you have everything inside of you that you need in order to improve your life. Now, when you focus on what you have and not on things you don't, you'll feel a sense of gratitude and appreciation. Thus, the universe can provide you with more of what you want. I wrote a piece on gratitude. It's very important that you practice gratitude. Practicing it whatever. When you wake up, it's as simple as thank you for this day. So, I would encourage you to not sweat the small stuff. When you lose focus on the goal and start sweating the small stuff, this is when you feel like giving up. So stay the course. This is accomplished by not worrying or being overly anxious about things that may come up while working on your goals. As I've told you, life happens. Life will continue to happen. But you've got to stay focused on the goal. Next one is key in many ways. This will only happen. So think about it this way. If you're struggling with your goals and then you meet negative people, do you think you'll finish that goal? No. So you've got to switch it up. Surround yourself with positive people. Being around positive people will help jumpstart your activity in a way that will continue on the path to success. Positivity is contagious, highly contagious. It will encourage you to keep going when you feel like giving up. Positive people will bring life to your goals, plans, and your very existence. These are the high vibration people. They're here for a reason. They're the light workers. They're here for a reason. Having such amazing people in your corner will not only encourage you, but will also help you see that other people genuinely believe in you. And without saying much, I genuinely believe in you. That's why I'm here. I'm doing this because I know I have spoken to a few people and they're asking me these questions. So I'm doing this because I know this is required. Now, this will help you realize how valuable you really are. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world or the politics, it doesn't matter. It's about you. Remember, this is about you. Focus on you and you'll see a transformation. This will help you realize how valuable you really are. Also, positive people usually encourage others to such a degree that they complete their goals, mainly because they don't want to let the positive person down. Yes. So don't let me down. Come on. Don't let me down. This podcast is for you. Yes, you. Now, positive people hold you accountable for the things you say you want to do. Very key. And they expect the greatness that you have inside of you to be pushed out into the world. You've got a greatness. You are unique. There's nobody with your skill sets. As I've told you, your gifts will make room for you. Number 4, know the difference between inspiration and motivation. I want to share my perspective on this so that you as a listener can see the difference between the two as well as their importance. Now, the first one, in a nutshell, for me, motivation tends to be temporary. Whereas inspiration, I feel, is long term. Now, people can motivate you to jumpstart your efforts in completing goals. Now, this is needed in order to assist a person in at least starting. And often motivation lasts only a short period. And there needs to be something sustainable to take its place. In a previous episode, I talked about intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. And this is where you need to really understand this and really dig into it. Now, this is where inspiration comes in. It is mainly about the cause. C-A-U-S-E, the cause. Inspiration will give you the reason why you are doing what you are doing. Yes. And this is powerful because this is the intrinsic stuff. There will be a reason why you're doing what you're doing, why you want to achieve that goal. Inspiration shows you that even though it may be tough, you know that you can, number 1, as an example, save lives. Number 2, change someone's way of thinking. Number 3, help others see from a different or even better perspective. And number 4, possibly assist people to become a better version of themselves. Yes, think about it that way. Now, the 5th one, realize your strength and your power in any situation. Personal power is important. It's important. Don't forget this. Personal power in any situation is highly important. Whether you even decide to keep quiet or silent in that situation, that is still your power. In fact, silence is very powerful in many ways. I'm not going to go into that topic today, so let's carry on. Now, many times people have a tendency to give up because they don't realize their own strength and power. If you have not heard it today, let me be the first to tell you this. You, Empowerment Junction listener, you are amazing and awesome in every single way. Your strength does not come from external. It comes from within. Go to that mirror and tell yourself. In fact, find a mirror now. Go and look at yourself and say it's between me and you. And tell the person looking back, we are going to complete this goal. We are going to complete this goal. And within that time, set a date and say, come the 1st of December, I want to have completed 3 tasks of this goal. the 1st of December. And if you have to do this every day, to look in that mirror and remind yourself and tell that person looking back, it's between me and you. Me and you, which means when you look in that mirror, you tell that person looking in the mirror, we are going to come out greater than yesterday. Tomorrow is going to be brighter than yesterday. We are going to wake up with the fire, with the power to push on. Because, as I've told you, it's within you. Your strength comes from within. Tap into your strength on those days when you feel like giving up. Those are the days you go to the mirror and you look at yourself and you say, we are doing this. It does not matter whoever came and told me, or the naysayers were saying this. It doesn't matter. Naysayers are naysayers. That's their role. You let them carry on. You go look in the mirror and say, we are going to do this. Nothing is going to stop us. Nothing is going to stop us. Now, you must understand that there are going to be tough times, but that doesn't mean that you should give up. Giving up on your goals means you're not only going to give up on yourself, but you're also preventing others from having a fulfilling life. And you might ask me how. Now, let me explain it. We live in a service-driven world, whether you want to accept it or not. Everything is around service. Somebody wants a service, you want a service. Now, everything we do provides a service for ourselves or someone else. Now, if you give up on your goals, which are your gifts, that should be presented to the world, will not help others as you should because you failed to complete your goals. Think about the people still tuning. If I'd failed to really come and set up this podcast, just think about it. And I really hope it's helping you reshape your mind, rethink, and refocus this way. Now, you have prevented someone else from seeing how your gift can improve their lives. So think about it this way. Think about my podcast. If I had not started this podcast and the people still tune in, whether it's 2 people, it doesn't matter. I'm not focused about the number of people. The idea of the podcast was really for me to, even if it's one person, to share what I feel could help other people's, rather than wallow in negativity, rather than wallow on the things that I don't have. I have plenty. In fact, my cup runneth over. I have plenty, and that's why I wanted to do this, because this is how I find. This is where my inspiration comes in. My journey into this world, into the education, was to help others. So this is how I'm doing it in my own way. Others doesn't mean I have to reach thousands. Others means it could be the one person. Every day, I remind them why they should be here. And that's enough. That is enough to give me, to fulfill me, to keep doing this podcast. So if this is you, I would encourage you to think about that goal and think about how you might have prevented someone from seeing how your gift can improve their lives. Now, that may sound like a lot of responsibility, but we must remember that it is our very existence. We don't live in a bubble. You live in a community. Everything you're doing, it's meant to have that ripple effect to that community, to the people around you. Think about it this way. If I had one candle and the whole of my street is dark, of course, I'm going to get more candles and light other people's candles. So think about it this way. So if I have one candle and there's 100 people of us here, and I pass it to the next person and the next person lights their candle, just imagine this in your head. Think about it this way. Just take some time to picture this. Now, that whole street will be filled with light, 100 people with 100 candles. Now, that was just the one person. So it could be, somebody might be listening to this podcast and using it as a way to pass whatever, or share it, or discuss it with other people what they're doing. So that could be you. You're stopping other people from growing. You're keeping other people in darkness by not completing your goals. Because there are people in your life just waiting for you to reach success so that they may understand that you can just be, or they can just be as successful. Number 6, allow time to reevaluate your goals. Now, there may be times where you might want to look at your goals from a fresh vantage point. Very important. The assistance of a mentor, a coach, or someone you value can come in handy. I do this all the time. The people I've mentored, I ask them, let's reevaluate. If you're feeling that the inspiration is not there, the motivation is not there, perhaps we need to reevaluate. Now, they can help you see what needs to be corrected or changed. Reevaluating your goal keeps you focused on the task you want to complete. It also helps you understand, and this is crucial, your purpose. Because sometimes you start on a straight line and then you take a corner and you're not meant to take that corner. You're not meant to take that roundabout. Now, having a purpose will help you see that the actual goal is not about you. And a lot of the times that's been the purpose. The reason why I'm here is I realize it's never been about me. No, it's never been about me. I'm more fulfilled when I do this podcast, when I help other people. Just as the prolific speaker Zig Ziglar once stated, if you help enough people get what they want, then you will get what you want. It's that powerful, without a shadow of a doubt. Now understand how vital your purpose is, especially when you feel like giving up. Reevaluation will help you have a greater understanding of what you are doing as well as why you're doing it. And my last one for today, learn to be outcome focused and not process orientated. Now, many of us have been trained by schools, organizations, or businesses, or whatever your career, to think about the process of things. And that's fine, that's good. You have to think about the process to get there, because everything has a process in a way. Now, while it's good to think about it as an example, mathematical equation, sometimes life is different. If we stay concerned about the procedure when it gets tough, then giving up becomes very, very easy. It becomes very easy to give up. Now, the reason for this is having more focus on the process and not on the outcome prevents us from continuing, because you might spend a lot of time thinking, how do I get it? Now, a perfect example. When I started this, and I've used this example, and I use it again, I feel it's very, very relevant. I had the desire to start this podcast. So God put it in my heart that I really need to start a podcast, talk about some of my experiences to perhaps help other people, particularly within the workplaces and some of the work challenges that I'd had. Now, and I remember speaking back to God and saying, okay, it's great. You want me to start a podcast? Have you heard all the podcasts? Davina McCall, Oprah Winfrey, all the other high profile, all the fantastic podcasts out there. And I was thinking, first, my voice, everything. So I was spend a lot of time thinking about the process. And God told me, set a date. Give it the 1st of December. Whether you have the gadgets, stop thinking, I will provide all those things for you. You just get started. So I used my phone. Go back to my first episode. It's very shaky. It doesn't even, probably some of you might think, what is that? But I started it. I stopped overthinking the process. I just set myself a date and I posted it. And here we are today. So you must realize how important it is for you to stay focused on the ultimate goal. It doesn't matter. In fact, somebody once told me this really nice quote. If you want to be a writer, start writing. It doesn't matter. Nobody started writing and it looked all fantastic. No. The process is, you don't focus on it like, oh, no, you just write. You just write. You just do it. As long as you've said, I want to write, just write. It doesn't matter who doesn't think, oh, that's rubbish. No. I wanted to start a podcast. I just started. I didn't overthink I started overthinking the process, but God corrected me and told me, whoa, pay attention. There's a goal here. And if I'd stopped, I probably would have got to June and I'd still be thinking, how do I start this podcast? Oh, I haven't got this. But no, the voice within me, and that was the voice of God for me, told me, get started. Stop making excuses. And this is the same analogy I'm using. When people are outcome focused, you have a tendency to be so concerned about what other people are doing or what trials they may face. And that was me. I was listening to other podcasts and think, well, I don't sound like that. I'll never sound like that. I'll never have that gadget. I'll never have this. I don't have this. There was a long process of overthinking, and I just started getting discouraged. And God told me, get out of that space. Snap out of that space and get started. Now, it is their perspective that the goal is right ahead. Outcome-focused individuals have a fire inside of them that keeps them burning. For me, once I shifted that, I realized very, very quickly, it's not about all these other fancy things. It's about my authenticity, my vulnerability, and what I feel I've been empowered to share. Now, understand that the ultimate desire is to maintain focus so that the result is success. And true enough, I have a podcast. Whatever you're thinking is almost irrelevant, because in a way, I'm not here for all the nice fancy music. I'm here to share my journey, my vulnerability on the things I've gone through. And I can see some people have come back to me and said that was really helpful, and I really resonated with that. And yeah, so just start. Focus on that goal and just get started and do it. Stop overthinking of all the other. There will be so many negative voices. And I've already had an episode where I told you how to tame that voice. Now, when you feel like giving up, realize that it's the easier path, but to continue will improve your life significantly. If you have a desire to improve yourself by focusing on what you want, then you must keep going. You can do anything that you put your mind to. There is nothing too hard for you if you just stay focused. And with that, I want to thank you so much again for tuning in today's episode of Empowerment Junction. Remember, the path to achieving your goals won't always be smooth, but the journey itself can be incredibly rewarding, and that's been my exact experience. As you move forward, don't let fear, doubt, or setbacks hold you back. Each challenge is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become more resilient. As you take these steps, think of November's message of quiet persistence. Now, this month reminds us that strength comes from within. And just like the trees in November, there is beauty in standing tall and enduring the change around us. Whatever you're facing, keep going and know that you are not alone on this path. Thank you so much once again for listening. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need encouragement today. Be that candle that lights another candle. Until next time, stay empowered, stay resilient, and keep striving towards your dreams. My name is Olivia Bassi, and this is Empowerment Junction Podcast. Bye for now.